All right, so the underlying energy that we have for you guys this time around is the moon. So the moon is coming up, which is telling, well, interesting to me. It's pretty much talking about a time where there is a bit of lost in the sauce. I think there's a lot of confusion going on. You're having to really rely on your intuition right now, or this is a situation where it's really calling you to trust your instincts. Really calling you to trust your instincts, especially with the High Priestess as your current state of being. I'm getting the sense that the moon is prevalent. There's a little bit of confusion, like I said before. The reason why you're having confusion is because of the Magician here. So there could be that it could be that you are trying to manifest something, but you're not quite sure what it is that you want, or perhaps there's just a lot of intense energy around you, which can cause a lot of confusion. There's a lot of really interesting stuff. Let's get into it so that maybe we could try to understand this moon energy that's coming up for you guys. Now, for your current state of being, like I said before, it's the High Priestess. So for a lot of you guys are having to use your intuition right now. I'm getting the sense that there is this need to kind of look beyond the scenes, I think. With the High Priestess, this does indicate some hidden knowledge, some hidden information. So I am getting the sense, the situation or this sensation mostly that there could be something that you are keeping to yourself, something that you're not necessarily ready to open up about, but there's also, more importantly, there's something that you may need to grasp from some intuition of yours. I feel like there's something that can totally be beneficial as long as you listen to your intuition. Okay, now for your goal, you do have the Fool. So the Fool is coming up as your, as where you want to be. And I'm getting the sense that with the Fool here, you want to feel free, you want to have clarity as well in a certain extent, but you also want to just go ahead and trust and go with the flow and go with whatever your heart is leading you and guiding you. So I get the sense that you really want freedom. There's a lot of things that are hidden, things that are kind of hard to see right now, things that are just not super clear. And I feel like it's just, unfortunately, it's like trusting your intuition. It's a hard one. And the reason why you're not able to get to the Fool is because you don't have a lot of confidence right now, possibly. You don't feel very confident in your ability to execute things or to get things done, to do things that you want, to feel good about going after the things that you feel the most passionate about. The Queen of Wands, she does not stop for anybody. She will do exactly what she wants and she gets it done. She's also very active, and she is also... she does not play, okay? And I have the feeling that you guys, this bit of trusting yourself to be able to get you through this weird period that's kind of keeping you from being able to pursue your heart's desire, to really get you to where you want to be, which is the Fool, right? To feel free. And I feel like it's just, there's a lot of things that are kind of scary and lurking in the dark here with this moon. That's kind of making this whole situation a lot harder for you. So you have a lot of major arcanas here. Okay, you have the moon as your underlying energy, the High Priestess, the Fool, the Devil. Okay, so there is some serious stuff going on. There could be secrets around you, but someone could be lying behind your back. Someone's probably not very open about how they're communicating, so that you are left in the dark. Or you could be keeping some things to yourself and not really opening up yourself. But I feel like most importantly, it's just trusting your intuition, trusting your guts. That's the hard part. That's the real kicker. And I think when you do that, things can fall into place. Now, with you, the reason why you have the Queen of Wands as the blockage for the Fool for you is the Two of Pentacles. And I feel like it's just that there's a lot of things that you're kind of keeping juggled, a lot of practical decisions, a lot of things that you're working on right now that's kind of a way of distracting yourself from really looking at how you're feeling about a certain situation. You may feel very uneasy right now and kind of like you honestly don't trust the situation. I can see that. Like there's something that you just don't trust, but you want to trust yourself most importantly. And this trust situation has a lot to do with the person that you're with and how you feel about yourself in a certain way, right? So I feel like right now there is a bit of distraction. There's a lot of, juggling. You guys could be dealing with somebody that is juggling more than one partner, or this could be, you guys, focusing on the practical stuff and working a lot and not really looking at how you're feeling about the situation. That's really kind of confusing, because if you leave your emotions on the back burner, it's going to get, a little bit more crazier than you actually expected it to be. And it can kind of lead you to confusion because you haven't listened to your heart for a while. So I think the reason why you don't have a lot of confidence is because you haven't really listened to your heart. You haven't listened to those emotions that have been trying to get your attention somehow. And I feel like you've just been kind of focusing on work, on things that you can really fix and handle, and put some actual physical effort towards, instead of your emotional part, because that's it's a little more touchy, it's more sensitive, and there's a lot more close to the vein, if you know what I'm saying. Now, your advice to get to the goal here is the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is indicating here that there is a need for you to look into your heart, to look into what you're feeling, know what's in your cup. And I feel like having some sort of idea of where your emotions are leading you towards that's the big part. Because the Queen of Cups and the High Priestess, the most intuitive of the whole tarot deck. And it's asking you to look into your emotions. It's asking you to trust your emotions and to trust yourself, and to really identify what it is that you feel about your certain situation. Right? But you have to know how you feel first. You have to allow yourself to be open emotionally to be able to receive those messages. So I feel like with the Queen of Cups here, trusting your intuition is very, very important here, especially with 3 cards already lined up next to each other, talking about trusting your intuition, trusting your gut, because your gut is always going to have your back, and it's always trying to get your attention as I'm seeing here, rather. And I just get the sense that trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, and going with what you feel is actually probably the best way of handling your circumstance. Now, how you're feeling is the 7 of Pentacles. So the 7 of Pentacles is indicating that, you don't really necessarily know if you're ready to commit to the situation, to this love situation, because honestly, I feel like you may have had some doubts in regards to the things that you've been putting your heart and soul into. Like, again, 2 of Pentacles is talking about managing things, making practical decisions, juggling certain situations, and managing your circumstance to make sure things were balanced and things are working in the best way possible. But at the same time, it's putting your emotions behind you. You're not consulting your emotions here. So the 7 of Pentacles is indicating that you don't know if you could truly really commit to this thing 100%, because you don't know if they are, if this is really worth the time and the effort being put forth. So I feel like you have a lot of doubts whether, about the connection, especially if you don't have a lot of trust. Can you trust the situation enough to actually go ahead and put your head down and work on it? Is there anything that's not confusing at this time for you to be able to be like, okay, I'm willing to commit to this? Because I feel like there's some things that are just not clear right now, not really being said, and it could really benefit you to get some information on what's going on, so that way you can have a better idea whether this is the kind of relationship you want to be in or not. But most importantly, it doesn't matter. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter if it's the other person that's not being honest or not being open with you. This is the part where your intuition comes in. And never, I've had a lot of clients come up to me and ask me how they feel, like how the person feels, like does he love me still, or does she still care about me, does she still think about me, does he still think about me, does he miss me? It does not matter. It never matters. You want to know why? Because even if they did and they do all those things, why is their opinion the deciding factor of what you should and should not do for yourself in a relationship? So ultimately, when I see the 7 of Pentacles, it's like, I feel like you should question this relationship, right? If your emotions are not, you're not happy with where you are, if there's a lot of secrets, there's not a lot of things that are being said to you right now, then what does it matter if this person cares about you or not? Is this acceptable for you or not? You know what I'm saying? So with the 7 of Pentacles here, I really feel like it's time to really look at how you feel about the situation. It's really good to listen to your emotions and listen to your intuition and let your guidance, your higher self talk to you right now. Because regardless of what the other person is feeling, regardless of what the other person is doing, how do you feel about it? And is this acceptable? And is this your dream relationship? Is this really what you want or expect in a relationship? To be constantly held in the dark and such, whatever. And if it is, then you're in the right place, right? This is good for you. This is perfect. But if this isn't, then it doesn't matter what the other person thinks. It never matters. So here, moving on to your hopes and fears, you have the Devil. And the devil does indicate that there is a feeling of being trapped, not really being able to express or to break free or have any sort of sense of freedom and of choice in your life. You may feel like you have also lost control, but you also could feel like there is a karmic connection between you and another person. I'm getting the sense here that with the devil coming up, I feel like the devil is talking about really having no control in their situation, just kind of constantly being in a relationship where you're not getting a lot of information and you're having to go to old habits to kind of compensate for what's missing in the relationship for you, which may not be healthy, right? So I feel like the fear is going back to old patterns is also is dealing with a toxic relationship, or a relationship where you feel like you're in one, but you're really kept from doing the things that you want to do. Really, it's like, honestly, like you have a partner that you say you have a partner, but they're never there. You're just attached and you don't have that freedom. So I feel like this is really understandable, especially if they're not communicating, they're not talking, there's no communication, there's a lot of hidden information, there's a lot of things. Okay. So in your outcome, you guys have the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups is honestly pretty good. And the reason why I say the Seven of Cups is pretty good, and I know it's kind of another confusion card because you have the Moon here, and you have the High Priestess, which can indicate like things being hidden. I feel like right now, Gemini, the Seven of Cups is talking about having options, picking and choosing what it is, what's your heart's desire and what's not. Yes, the situation can be very confusing, but looking at what's being presented to you is really what's going to help you, and help you push forward, help you make help you make the decisions that make you feel like you're truly going somewhere in your relationships, in your love life. Okay, and you can make these decisions as long as you look at what's being offered, what's being presented to you. And I feel like, considering that there is not a lot of things going on, or there's some things that's going on and you don't know what's going on, that leaves you with options already. I always say that if there's somebody that's not communicating with you, or you said something already, you said your piece and they still haven't communicated, that leaves you with an option to just do something, whether to sit there and let it happen, say okay, whatever, or to make another decision and say, you know what, I don't know if I can accept this, or some other decision, right? That something that I won't even probably think of, right? There's always options. There's always an avenue. There's always a way you can enhance your life and save yourself from a situation where you happen to feel like you have to go back to old patterns of doing something, where you feel like you're trapped or in a toxic relationship. There's always a decision of where you can go. And I feel like the Seven of Cups is honestly like the homing beacon here in regards to this, allowing your intuition to be like, hey, you know what? This is not for me. I still can make a choice on whether or not this is a relationship for me, or this situation is for me or not. I can make options. I can make decisions that make me feel more secure and makes me feel like I'm going into a relationship that I truly desire. Okay, so the Seven of Cups I actually like. Now let me go ahead and pull you guys your oracle cards for the week. I'm going to be pulling you your romance angels. Wow, and the card that we're getting here is let your friends help you. Okay, so there could be a situation here where your friends may need some feedback or some sort of assistance right now with people that you know you can trust. So I really feel like allowing them to kind of enter your life with some, with an open heart will be able to help you feel like you're not alone in your situation. Because I do get the sense that you feel very much like you're in a relationship but not in a relationship with the devil in your hopes and fears. And how this reading is looking. You're left out in the cold, right? It's, you don't have to have the Five of Pentacles there to see that. All right, and your whispers of love for the week is wow, romance. That's beautiful. Romance. And this says, lavish the one that you love with your personal attention and affection. And I do get the feeling that, because the Queen of Cups can be a very romantic energy, right? If there's a lot of stagnant energy in your relationship and things are not being said, then maybe it is your opportunity to have your heart open and to do something. Usually the Queen of Cups doesn't. She's more of a passive energy, like the High Priestess rather. She's more of a passive energy. These two are very passive. They let things come to them. And I get this feeling that really knowing what your heart's desire is, knowing what's truly romantic for you, and communicating that with your partner, that is probably the best way to really begin to clear some air. But having an open conversation about what you feel or how you feel can clear the air. So it's not just following your intuition and trusting yourself in regards to what your spirit may be saying, but I feel like also having an idea of what your heart's desire is, communicating what your emotions are trying to speak, to you, whether they're speaking to you, whether communicate with your partner about how you feel about the relationship. That is what's going to bring the romance back into the relationship. It's going to require conversation. It's going to require you to be open emotionally. It's going to be a lot of things that's going to be required from you. But as long as you initiate that, it is a kind of scary territory, especially when we're talking about emotions here, but it is something that can be fixed as long as you're willing to make those steps and make that effort. But you have to be open to it first, I feel. Okay.